Hello folks. It's been a while since I've had to do one of these, and I stopped doing them, even though I had quite a lot of justification to do one or two of these more ranty videos and what Games Workshop is doing at the moment. I just... they grind me down. The more I do them, the more worse of a mood I get in, and I don't like doing them. I've liked to really embrace the positive side of the hobby. I've liked, over the last year or two, to get people together to do games, to explore the parts of the hobby that I do like, rather than focusing on the things that I don't like. Because in doing that, you end up going down a bit of a spiral. I've seen other content creators do this, and they sort of get addicted to it. They start to sensationalize things that aren't that bad for clicks and views in terms of, you know, what Games Workshop is doing or what it's not doing, things like that. Today, though, is something that really hits close to home, my heart. It goes right in the quick, right in there, where it hurts the most. And that is Grey Knights, ladies and gentlemen. They've brought out a new Grey Knight box set, and I'm not very happy with it, so I'm going to get into that in a minute. But if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. It's one click for you. It's free, but it does help me out. So yeah, I've tried to stay away from this form of content most of the time. But today, Games Workshop, or maybe even a few days ago now, Games Workshop came up with a brand new box set. This is not it. This is the old Combat Patrol, and a lovely Combat Patrol it is, with very old models in there. Decades old models, in fact, in most cases. Obviously, they retail around £100, which is a rampant rip-off. Do you remember back in the day, guys, when you would be able to get the Combat Patrol equivalent, the starter box set for your faction, for around £45? Do you remember? Less than half what it is now. Now, inflation, you know, I adjusted that for inflation before we went on the video today, and with inflation, that would have been, back then, around £60, right? So even back then, early noughties, for around £60, you would have gotten yourself a box set like this Combat Patrol. Not a bad deal whatsoever, I'm sure you will agree. Nowadays, £100, 100 notes directly into their coffers, or you're not going to be seeing any of these lovely models that you see on screen. But the thing is, that I don't like, these models are not worth the money. I'm so sorry, lads. You're behind me, I know, looking over my shoulder, crying. I'm so sorry. These models are not worth £60, let alone £100. I'm sorry. Their sculpts are decades old now. Very, very, very old models with with lines. They've got mold lines still. These models still have mold lines. Their poses aren't that great. They look kind of silly next to the primaris Space Marines, especially the Terminators. Dude, the Terminators look so small and diddy and unimpressive compared to their new, larger cousins in, I will say this, lesser chapters. Yes, if you are a Space Marine and you're not a Grey Knight, you are a lesser chapter. You're one of those people. And by the way, I have all the love in the world for you. I love my Dark Angels, I love my Blood Angels, I love my Black Templars, but Grey Knights are just better. In the lore, they tell you all the time, they're just better. It is what it is, right? That's where we get all of our silly things from. Even if we take... bloody, what was his name? Matt Ward out of it. Take Matt Ward out of it. Grey Knights in the lore still better than the vast majority of Space Marines that are out there for very good reasons. There are people out there who will tell you, no, they're not. They're just better at killing demons. No, they're literally not, dude. They're literally not. They're literally better than normal Space Marines, okay? Like, don't not read any books and then read a Reddit post and come on to my videos like you know anything. You know nothing, right? Read Black Library books if you want to comment in depth, again, you know, in the lore, okay? Or at least, at the very least, go read a wiki, okay? And some of that might not even be right, some of that might be wrong, but you're still going to get a lot more information than you would from Reddit, for God's sake. Don't listen to Reddit and then take that and go, this is canon, this is what things are. No, those are opinions and not very smart ones at that, right? I'm talking about empirical facts you can see in the lore for yourself if you go and read it. Alright, moving on. When was the last time your Dark Angels banished an actual Demon Primarch? Can we just... Yeah? Yeah? Your Primarch doesn't count. Just saying. Okay, Blood Angels. When was the last time you banished the Demon Primarch? Let's do it. Let's go on there. Yeah? We banish them on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays. Now, even for people who are good at killing demons, banishing a Demon Primarch is insane. That is insane. For a non-Primarch level dude to do that, even if you are a Grey Knight and you're good at killing demons, that is insane. Marneus Calgar couldn't do that. And I bet most of you think Marneus Calgar is better than most of the people in the Grey Knight roster anyway. But Marneus Calgar couldn't banish a Demon Angron. Let's be honest, he couldn't. None of you think he could. Anyway, I'm going to get off my horse now. Get off my high horse. They're just better, right? My point is, their models look way worse than most Space Marine models. Look at the diddy little size of them. Look at them squatting down. Ooh, look at me. Having a shit. Ooh. Like, literally, every single Grey Knight Terminator squad looks like that. They look like they're having a dump. Alright? It looks awful. I don't like it. I don't want it. We deserve Primaris-sized Grey Knights. Okay? Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm kind of dreading them doing that, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to half the amount of models, because they've made the models bigger, and charge you more money for them. Right? Right now, a Space Marine, well, a Combat Patrol, not even that, a Grey Knight Terminator squad will set you back about 40 notes, I think. Let me just see in Wayland what it is. Grey Knight Terminator. Yeah, £30, right? £37. So, on retail, from Games Workshop, £37. Again, they're not worth it. These are not worth £37. This is a ridiculous price point for such old sculpts and models. When we get Primaris Grey Knights, there will be 3 models in the Terminator squad. They will be bigger than this and have, you know, really cool poses, but you can only really do one or two poses per model, and it'll be £45, not 37, right? I'm calling it now. That is what's going to happen. It'll be half the amount of models almost, and another, you know, £7 or £8 tacked onto the price. That's what we're going to get. So whilst I want Primaris Grey Knights, I'm also kind of dreading them doing it. The same thing is going to happen to the Strike Squads too. Strike Squads right now are extremely expensive. Let's just do that as well. Grey Knight Strike Squads. Yep, there we go. They are, at the moment, £42.50 from a Games Workshop store. That is a lot of money. You get 10 models in that box set. And back in the day, in 7th edition, when all Space Marines were around this size, Grey Knight's one of the best value model lines in the actual game, by bar none. They were brilliant, because you could make anything that you wanted from any Grey Knight box set. You wanted to get your Terminator squad and make 5 Paladins? Go for it. You wanted to make 5 an Apothecary, an Ancient, and a Grandmaster, and a Librarian, and a Champion? Go for it. You could do that, right? You wanted 5 Terminators? Go for it. You could do that. You could do whatever you wanted with this box set. Same thing goes for the Strike Squad. You could make Interceptors in there. You could make 5 Interceptors and 5 normal Grey Knights. You can make 10 normal Grey Knights, 10 Interceptors, 10 Purifiers, 5 Purifiers, and a combination of anything that you want in there. You can even make a Grandmaster in normal armor from this set as well. It was an amazing set with a load of different options in there, and I loved it. The fact that I can't buy it anymore because they have silly little models in there that don't look anywhere near as good in terms of posture to the actual Primaris Space Marines that we have now is a crime. And you know what? More of a crime? We're never getting this kind of set ever again. When they bring out your next Grey Knight Strike Squad, it will have 5 models in it, and it'll cost £45 to £47. I reckon it'll cost £47.50 for 5 models. They'll be really nicely posed, they'll be Primaris sized, they'll look awesome, but they're going to half the amount of models and up the price. This is what they do. And this is what they're going to do when the Primaris Space Marines finally come out. You will get less options, less models, and you'll have to pay more. That's what they're going to do. At the very most I can hope for is that there's still 10 models in this set, but the price is still going to jump exponentially, right? If there are 10 models in this set, get ready for your first £50 troop choice. I'm telling you now, if there are 10 Space Marines in the new Primaris Space Marine set, your Strike Squad set, get ready for your first £50 troop choice. I'm telling you, it's coming, okay? And you can only make the Strike Squad from this set. If you want Purifiers, you're going to have to buy another set. I'm telling you, it's coming. They're going to do it. It's Games Workshop, right? But let's look at the value of this set right now. Let's take all of the things I've just said about the non-value of these models and put them aside, right? Let's pretend these models aren't decades old, which they are, and they're not worth any money whatsoever, which they're not, right? So let's take all of that off the table. Let's pretend these are Primaris Space Marine size models, or that they're actually worth the money that you're paying for them. Okay, so what we have here is a Dread Knight. We have 5 Strike Squad Marines there, okay, which you can build into anything that you want. And we have 5 Terminators and, of course, your Librarian there, okay? Decent box, decent to add to your army if the models are actually worth this, which they're not. You know, a decent box set, no problem there, right? My problem comes when we see the box set that they're currently bringing out. Okay, can you see a difference in this box set to what we just had there? Can we see it? Yeah, no Dread Knight. Now, Dread Knight in the current meta aren't very good. I get that completely. But that is only a matter of time until they become meta again. They are too big, too massive, right, to not have a strong presence in the game. In 11th edition, they will be very good again. You know they will be, right? They're an evergreen unit. Eventually, they're going to come back into the meta again. So take the meta and take it out of there right now. Because the minute you start attributing value to models through if they're good in the meta or not, you're giving Games Workshop the keys to charge you whatever they want. Because they'll just make it good in the meta and charge you double the price for it, okay? So let's not do that, shall we? They have replaced a relatively new sculpt in the Dread Knight, which is still over a decade old now, with an ancient, by God, this is old, Venerable Dreadnought model. And when I say old, this thing is ancient. Like, literally. This thing is old. It looks old. It is old. And it looks silly. Compared to the other Dreadnoughts, side by side, it looks silly. You're paying more money to look silly when you take this model out. They've given you 5 more Marines. Again, I applaud that, but again, these models aren't really worth anything, considering how old their sculpts are, in terms of, you know, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be paying for them. And they've added Castellan Crow. Now, Castellan Crow, for me, is one of the best models in the entire range. Not just Games Workshop, any range. He's a fantastic, fantastic model. But for £100, all you're getting of value from this box set is Castellan Crow. Why? Because the minute the Primaris Marines do come out for Grey Knights, all of these will be worthless. Now, you can say to me all you want, but you can still play them in the game, I know. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. I know a lot of you, there are a lot of contrarian people out there who will say, oh no, Firstborn look better than Primaris. Dude, get off the drugs. Please get off the drugs. Alright? You're upsetting your family. Get off the drugs. Stop it. Alright? Yes, there are certain aspects to the old Marines that look better than Primaris Space Marines. I get it. Right? I missed the grill too. I missed the grill too. I love that helmet. Right? I love it. But why don't you just get your normal Primaris Space Marines, 3D print that helmet, Bob's your uncle. You got the best of both worlds. You have the best looking Space Marines now. If you have by the way, if you have your own army of Firstborn Marines and you want to replace them, just buy the Primaris set, right? Snip the heads off your old models, put them on the new ones. Job done. You have the best looking Space Marines in the range. By a long way. The only thing I miss is that grill. Everything else, the squat posture, you know, they look like children wearing their dad's armor. Misproportions, legs and arms that don't look like they belong on a human being. Some quite derpy poses. Lack of detail, all of those things I can happily live without. What I'm saying is, as soon as a Primaris version of your old Space Marine model comes out, your model is now obsolete in my eyes. It is. It's just obsolete. It's just obsolete. There's a reason why they're bringing out new ones. You can say they don't look as good all you want, man. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you're not going to buy it. I'm going to be honest with you, and it's going to sound so bad. It's going to sound so bad. I think a lot of the people who make this argument can't really afford Primaris Marines anyway. I'm sorry. I've had this conversation with too many people where they've said, "Oh, they look rubbish. I'm not going to get any Primaris Marines." Yeah, can you afford any more models? No. Well, there you go then. Yeah, you're just saying that because you can't afford it, right? And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry you can't afford it. And yes, the prices are ridiculous. And they should be lower. You should be able to afford it. But it doesn't mean you can say things that aren't true just because you can't afford the thing that we're talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? I know it sounds awful, but I respect your right. You should be able to afford it. These are way too expensive. But I think most of the opinions out there that say Primaris Marines don't look as good as old Marines comes from a place of, I'm crying because I can't afford the models. And I get that. Again, you should be able to afford them. I get it. By the way, Games Workshop, how fucking dare you put a model on the front of the box that has its bolter holes drilled in when you know that is something you don't sell? This is false advertising. They don't come out the box like this. You've got to do all of that yourself with non-Games Workshop tools for the most part to get it to work. You may as well just use non-Citadel paints to paint your models. Oh, right, you do that as well. Okay. They just love false advertising. They love it. They're all up in there. They love false advertising. Dude, the only thing of value in this box set is Crow. Why? Because when the new Primaris Marines do come out for Grey Knights, you can still play that model with your new Grey Knights, and it still looks like it's cool. What this looks like is Castellan Crow bringing his children for a walk. Look at the fucking size of him compared to the rest of them. Look at the detail and posing of him compared to the rest of them. This box set is a fucking joke. I'm sick of them slapping Grey Knight fans in the face like this. You gave the Dread Knight a dress. You gave the Space Wolves a full product range rework, and you gave our guys a fucking dress for the worst model in our range, the Dread Knight. Go fuck yourself. Okay? Go sit on a dick and jump in the sea. I hate this. It makes my fucking teeth itch. It really does. If you're fool enough to pay for this box set, you deserve everything you get. You deserve Games Workshop taking your money and running for the hills. And do not dare come running to my channel whinging when 2 weeks after you bought this box set, they announced the Primaris Space Marines are coming out for the Grey Knights. Don't you dare. Because you were warned. And you shouldn't even need warning. You shouldn't need warning. Look at everything this company does with suspicion. Everything. All the time. Alright? If they do something good, call it out. Brilliant. But this is too much now. And let's look at the actual monetary value, by the way. Okay? They've given you 5 more Grey Knights, right? Which aren't really worth that much. You know, half of a box of what? Half of this box of £42.50, which, isn't really worth that. Half of this box is £21.25, whatever it is, right? Okay, let's look at what else they've taken out. They've taken out £44 worth of value with the Dread Knight. That's gone, right? That's just gone. And they replaced it with Castellan Crow. What is Castellan Crow? He's worth £28. Do you know what I mean? But people will still say, well, the Dreadnought's in there. The Dreadnought's fucking worthless, mate. It's worthless. It's worthless. It's that old, it's worthless. It's a piece of plastic. Right? It has no value. You can literally go and get a Primaris-sized Dreadnought and just paint it in Grey Knight colours. You now have a Primaris Grey Knight Dreadnought that looks the part. That's actually the size of a Dreadnought. The size of a Dreadnought, right now, in Warhammer 40,000, are the Primaris ones, not these ones. These ones look silly. Again, be au contraire if you like. Just know, everyone knows you're wrong. I'm just saying. And people have eyes. Okay? People actually have eyes. And they work for the most part. Let's see. Dreadnought. Just so I can see. Here we go. Here he is. Yeah. actually quite next to each other. Right, that Dreadnought, the Primaris Redemptor, is double the size of this dude here. Almost double. They look imposing, they look massive, right? They can be the linchpin of your list. Vulnerable Dreadnoughts look silly. Very silly. And by the way, that Dreadnought has the wrong markings for campaigns on it. Most of those are Ultramarine campaigns. They haven't even bothered to give you a proper Grey Knight Dreadnought on the front of the fucking box. I'm just sick of them doing this. Stop regurgitating old shite that nobody wants. Okay? It's insulting. It's beyond insulting. Pull your finger out and make some new models. I'm sick of this. They treat you like you're fucking retarded. And you keep buying it. Now, normally I would say, well, sucks to be you. That's fine. I don't care. Waste your money. But the more you waste your money, the more I don't get my cool shit. I don't get my Primaris Space Marines in Grey Knight colours. I don't get those. Okay? I'm fully dreading them lowering down the model count, but maybe they'll up the power of them and I can just have a few of them in my army. That'd be cool, right? Maybe we'll see. Maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome, I don't know. But the more you buy into this shit, the less cool shit actual Grey Knight players have to say, by the way, front row model with a sword to the left of Castellan Crow. Do you notice anything odd about the sword? Yeah? Are we noticing it now? Front and centre. They couldn't even be bothered, could they? A bent sword. Right front and centre. Right in front of you. Do you know why? Because they'll know you'll buy it anyway. It's fucking... Fuck. Sorry. Fucking annoying. It takes my breath away. It really does. Alright? It takes my breath away. Anyway, that's my rant for today. I love you a long time. Give us some Grey Knight models, Games Workshop, or piss off and stop doing this. I don't want your shitty little Dreadnought. Give me some good shit, and maybe I'll give you some money. Goodbye.